Hello, this is Roland, Pastor Roland, checking in to see how you're doing and hoping that you're going to start doing better. And what does better mean? Well, better doesn't necessarily mean, in fact, better doesn't mean that all your problems will go away. Okay? Sometimes God gives us more problems to deal with. Okay? Let's talk about what better means. The first thing that better means is that you get out of your thinking, where you undoubtedly, if you're like most people, spend most of your time lost in the squirrel cage of thinking. Thoughts, plans, schemes, pipe dreams. And then, early in life, we love those dreams of sex and violence. Okay, dreams of being a great conquering hero, dreams of romance and all that sort of thing. Well, okay, so that's okay when we're young. Okay, but then we also have dreams of violence and getting even with people and so on. That's not good. Okay, but then as we get older, we should be living more in reality, because that's where we were meant to be. But the trouble is, the reality around us is a living hell, which has come upon this earth because of people's disobedience. See, if everybody behaved properly, it never ceases to amaze me that animals have instinct, and they live according to their instinct quite well, thank you. Okay, they know what to do. The robin knows how to build its nest, and the beaver knows how to build its dam, and so on. Okay? But look at human beings. Why do we need laws and police officers and courts and jails and all that sort of thing? Why? Why are people doing wrong things, bad things, stupid things? Wouldn't it be so easy just to drive safely and not steal anything or hurt other people? And wouldn't that be so easy to do? You would think so. But it seems that people need outside controls. But our controls should be internal. Okay? Now that brings us to a very important point, and that is, what is your authority? Or what are our authority? What should it be? Well, when we're children, our authority, of course, is our parents. Hopefully we have good parents or decent parents. Okay? And they do the best they can. Most of them mess up, but they do the best they can. But what ought your authority to be when you become an adult? Your authority should be what you know in your heart. Internal authority. Intuition. Also known as the word. Wordless word. What you know in your heart. Okay? An internal guidance system. A moral compass, internal. You shouldn't need to have people to tell you, not to steal, not to lie, not to cheat, all that kind of stuff. You shouldn't need that at all. Now, a lot of us don't do anything bad because we're afraid of the consequences. We don't want to rock the boat and lose favor, or lose perks, or lose position, or lose the comfy situation that we have. Okay? Or we don't want to get social disapproval. You see, all those things. We don't want any of that. Or we don't have to pay fines if we don't bring our library book back, or we go driving too fast, such things. But a lot of people, they need those external controls, and they rely on them. And a person ought not to need any external control whatsoever. He should just inwardly be impelled. Now, the other thing is, so not only that, but from within he would also get common sense. See, common sense, where does that come from? Can you teach people common sense? No, it comes from within. Okay, wisdom, where does that come from? You can't teach people wisdom. See, wisdom is a higher form of common sense. And so our internal, and so what you need is to be close to intuition, close to your ground of being, close to the inner light, which comes from God. See, God is your parent spirit. And if you were there, you would not only not do wrong things, but you would live wisely, with common sense. And that would be of great benefit in a lot of areas. For example, health. Look at how people eat. For example, look at the mistakes they make with eating. If people have a choice between eating a raw carrot, for example, and eating some gooey, syrupy, sweet thing, what are they going to go for? The syrupy, sweet thing. See? You see kids, they go for the candy instead of the, good food. Of course, if the food were cooked good, then it would taste good, but you get the idea. We're naughty by nature. It's called concupiscent. So that means then that if you wish to find your internal controls and live a wise life, a safe life, a happy life, a life of purpose. See, the other thing is purpose. Where do you get your purpose? See, where do most people get their purpose? From others who give them goals and challenge them and tease them. See? So when you go to school, the teachers that are there, what are they? They're mostly pimps for the establishment, challenging you to perform, motivating you to fit in and be a good worker, drone, okay? And support the system and not rock the boat. And if anybody rocks the boat a little bit, well, they're frowned upon. Did you know that Albert Einstein quite a bit didn't do well in school? And did you know that some of his teachers hated him? There was one teacher that really hated him. Why did he hate Albert Einstein? Very nice man, Albert Einstein. He hated him because Albert Einstein sat in the back with a little smirk, a little smile on his face. The teacher hated that smile. See? Because what it meant was, it meant that Albert Einstein didn't respect him and wasn't bowing and scraping before him, see? So you get the idea. You ought to, your purpose in life, you should find it from within. That doesn't mean that you can't get a job. It doesn't mean that you can't listen to what other people say. But this is the key. The internal testimony is the important thing. It's okay to hear what other people say. Okay? You just listen lightly. It goes in one ear and out the other. Okay? And if they happen to say something right, then the internal testimony kind of quietly, silently says, yes, that's right. Or maybe there's no internal testimony, so you don't know if it's right or not. Sometimes you hear something and you know that it's wrong. And if you don't know, then you wait until you do know. And then all of a sudden you will know. If it's something that you should know, then you'll know from within. You'll just know. Okay? It'll be inwardly revealed. People like Abraham, Isaac, Moses, Jeremiah, these people like that. They walked, Enoch, Elijah. They walked with God. They had an intimate relationship with God. They received guidance from Him every minute, every day, every hour, every minute, every second. See? So most of the time, sure, they weren't constantly getting, turn this way and turn that way. But the presence of God was there. The light was there. Let's put it that way, from God. The light from God was there, and they were very close to it. They weren't lost in their imagination the way people are today. They were walked in reality, and they were always attuned to what they knew in their heart, okay? And they watched for that. They waited for that internal testimony. They waited for that internal sense about something. That was what is the most important thing. Okay? So from now on, it's okay to hear what people say. Okay? Sometimes even bad people, wrong people, can say something that's right. The example I always give, I've given this example now for 25 years. It's kind of silly, but it makes the point. Okay? If Hitler were there, okay, and I'm walking by and Hitler says, hey, your shoelace is untied. Okay? And if I looked at my shoelace and it was untied, then it would be wise for me to tie my shoelace, right? So then I would tie my shoelace and I would say, thank you, Hitler, very much. Okay, so he was right about that. Say, I don't have to accept Hitler. You see what I mean? You don't have to accept the person as your authority or as your guide or as someone that you think is good, or you don't have to accept them. You just hear what they say, and if they say something right, well, that's nice. Okay. Okay. If you go to a restaurant and the chef makes a nice meal, then you eat the meal. If it's a nice meal, then you say thank you and you leave a nice tip there for the waiter and so on. You don't know anything about the cook, the chef. You don't know whether he's a nice guy or not, or whether he knows anything else than cooking. Doesn't matter. You see what I mean? So you hear what people say. If it makes sense, okay, then that's good. If you see, it's the internal testimony. And if somebody says something and it doesn't sit right with you, then just don't follow. Don't go along with it. Don't doubt yourself. See, doubting yourself, doubting what you know in your heart. You see how that's lack of faith. See, so you believe. See, so when Christ came along. So let's say that you're a person who loves truth. You tend to be in reality, and you love truth. You love what's right. You love principle. You see, okay, so you're that kind of person. So if you were there when Christ came along, and you heard him talk, see, then you would not only recognize that he was the truth, but you would also see, because it would be an internal testimony. The light within would testify and say silently, yes, this is my son. Okay? And you would see, because of what the internal testimony was, who Christ was and is. Okay? And then, of course, in his case, then you could believe into him because of the good that was in him. See, the light in you testifies to the light in Christ. The same light. The same light that was in him is in you. See what I mean? Okay? So watch for that internal testimony. Hear what people say. Don't accept the person. See? Don't say, oh, he's a nice person or he's a terrible person. Just hear what they say. Okay? With a little bit of mental distance. And if it's right, it's right. If it's not right, it's not right. If you don't know, you don't know. Wait until you do know from within. Okay? My name is Pastor Roland.